Okay, so in the last video, we made this nice design, and we had these print statements. We put these print statement at the beginning of the square function, so we could see we started with n equals 10, and we went all the way up to 101. Let's see. Let's see what happens if we move this print statement. Let me cut that from there and put it down after this call here. Paste. Okay, so now we're calling square of n plus 1, and then we print this. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. What are we doing? We're saying the first time through, we're saying, okay, so we're calling with square having a value of 10, right? So we're saying square 10. Well, 10 is not bigger than 100, so we're going to go forward 10, right 93. Then we're going to call this again with 20. And we're going to call and call. So are we ever going to get back here? Let's run it and see, and then maybe we can figure out what's going on. Let's see here. Oh, source must be saved. Yeah, let's save this source, for goodness sake. So we're drawing and drawing and drawing. Nothing's getting printed yet. That's interesting. I wonder if anything will ever get printed. Will it ever reach down here? How's that going to work? Let's give it a chance to get to 100. So it has to get as big as it was before. And what happened? Look at this. But it's printed all the numbers out, but they're out backwards. What in the world is going on here? Well, it might help to understand if we go back and look at our recursion 1 here. Let's move our print statements here in the same way. So that the print statement comes after the call. Let's see. So that the print statement comes after we pass the buck. Okay? So let's see what happens when we run this guy. Yeah, things are backwards again. So let's think about it. We call square, right? Square calls square 1. And then when square 1 is finished, we're going to call this guy. Okay? So we have to save our place here and think about, this is going to get printed after square 1 is finished. In square 1, we're going to call square 2, and then we're going to print this guy. So this gets printed after square 2 is finished. In square 2, we're going to pass the buck to square 3, and then when square 3 is finished, we're going to print this. Now we call square 3. Well, square 3 says print this. So now we haven't been able to print anything yet until we got to square 3. Okay, because before we called print, we called we called this guy, right? And before we called this guy's print, we called this one. Before we called square 2's print, we called square 3. So the first guy that prints out is square 3, right? Now square 3 is finished. So we come back from this call. Now we're done with this. So now we can print out square 2, n equals 30. Okay. Same thing here. Now we're done with the call to square 2. So we can print out square 1 equals 20. And here, once we're done with square 1, we can print out this guy, square equals 10. Okay, so this is another really important idea in recursion, that there's kind of this, winding forward as you're calling, from one, as you're passing the buck. Every time you pass the buck here, there's this kind of, winding forward. N is getting bigger and bigger. But then there's also this possibility of unwinding as you leave the, as you return from this call. So as you return from, after you return from square 1, then you can call this guy. So there's this, and that leads to this kind of unwinding behavior. That's another important element to remember for recursion. So what have we learned so far? So in recursion, we always have to have this step where we pass the buck. We have some statements that are very similar. Basically, the same statements are getting executed each time, right? Because it's square. But we can tweak the input a little bit each time to make some interesting things happen. And then there always has to be a piece where the buck stops. Okay? So we always have to have a way of, stopping the recursion, so we're not calling ourselves anymore. And then there's, in addition to this kind of winding up and or increase, moving things in a particular direction this way, this kind of winding up, there's this unwinding or unpacking, or however you want to say it, that happens. That can happen if you have something after this that happens after this call.